Hi, my name is Katarina, and this entire channel is going to be filled with one of my favorite topics, Airbnb horror stories, where I'm going to tell you a story of something that actually happened. The names, dates will all be changed, and that's what I'm going to tell you. Now, 99% of people with Airbnb, they are great. They are world travelers. They have a fantastic stay, and they actually go into your home and we have a great time together. But once in a while, that small percentage is a doozy. So here goes story number one. She came in. Now we have some policies. I've learned some policies. One of the policies, unfortunately, is we try to avoid locals, but sometimes, during the season, it's during the low season, you take a couple locals because you still need to pay your bills. So this is unfortunately a story of a local. So she came in, she booked, and I was like, ugh, I don't want to book this lady. But I was like, no, don't be judgy. I was told that she said that she was booking for just herself, and then she was house hunting and she was looking for a new place. So I was like, great, all right. And I see the taxi pull up, and there's a taxi, and I'm like, oh, she's here with the taxi, not with the bus, not with the car, but with the taxi. And then she starts unloading her bags, and there's like garbage bags, and there's like Save-On food bags, and a few duffel bags and a big suitcase. And then she got instructions. The check-in is in the back. She got the code. It's self-check-in. So she came down the stairs, and I'm like, well, I'm just watching. She knows it's in the back, so I'm just watching, and I'm like, I'm going to let her self-check-in and see what happens. So then I turn around, and there's someone standing in my kitchen. And I'm like, well, because I didn't lock the door, because, the kids are playing, and we're just hanging out, and it's our front entrance to our house. And suddenly there's someone standing in my kitchen. I'm like, oh my God, hi. And I'm like, you're here for the Airbnb, aren't you? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, the entrance is in the back. You're standing in my living room and in my kitchen. So she went downstairs. She checked in and everything. I'm like, wow, you have a lot of bags, right? So then I went to meet her. She seemed okay. Everything seemed fine, whatever. That night, I came in to check on her. A lot of bags. And I'm like, hey, you need to keep your bags in your room because the rest of the space is shared, and you can't just keep all of your stuff everywhere. So I don't know how she managed to do it, but she managed to put all of her stuff, except for one suitcase, into her room. Great. Later that evening, I came to pick up my laundry because my washing machine broke. So it's really sucked because I had to go around the back and do the laundry with, 3 kids. It's not an easy task. There's someone in her room, and I'm like, okay, so just so you're aware, for every guest, there's an additional fee. You have an extra guest. Is your guest going to stay or is just visiting? Because if it's visiting, then I'm going to tell you we have no guest visiting policy because you're just staying here just to sleep, right? That's what you're doing. You're staying here to sleep. No, he's staying. All right, so let me recalculate that and send you an update for your costs since, your guest can't just stay here for free. Okay. Can I just give you cash on Thursday? Maybe. Let me think about that. Let me see. Let me try to do it through Airbnb, the legit way first. Anyway, they stayed for an entire week. During the course of that week, what happened? We had 3 domestic disputes. They came very, very, very late at night. The place was generally messy. I kept communicating with her saying, hey, can you clean up? Can you tidy up? Whatever. Little bit of drama. Then we found out through when my mom went to talk to her that apparently she was born in 1979, and Elvis died in 1978 or 76 or something like that. And apparently she's Elvis Presleys' daughter, and that Elvis lived 3 years past his fake death, and that all of Anne Marie's baby pictures are actually of her, and that she is Elvis Presley's daughter, and that he lived and that he's her dad. okay, he's your dad. Sure. Okay. Then we find out she's actually like running away from her boyfriend. And I'm like, but who's this guest that you're staying with? Well, it turns out that that is her boyfriend, and she's running away from a marriage that she left 7 years ago. And she's got 2 kids that are like fully grown up, and she's talking about having children and having babies, and she lost custody of her kids. I'm like, okay, so here's a divorcee who is Elvis Presley's daughter, who has a fake boyfriend but she's been with him for 7 years, and he's just staying as a guest. Okay, let's just go with that. Anyway, I really just wanted this stay to come to an end. I didn't want any drama. I didn't want the mess. I didn't want the fights. So many times I had to go downstairs at 2 a.m, and I just kind of would sneak in and look through past the window to see like if she was disturbing other guests because they were having fights. Then I found a cigarette butt in the bathroom, and I'm like, this is no smoking. There's no smoking. You can't smoke here. And she's like, oh, sorry, we won't smoke here. Anyway, it was, I was actually confused, and I thought she was leaving the next day, but that evening I come in and I hear them, and they're having dinner and everything seems fine. I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be a quiet evening. They came in like before 10:30 at night. Now they're eating dinner. They're going to cook and they're going to go to bed. And in the morning, they're going to slowly pack up their stuff and they're going to go. But instead, what happened was she got up at 2 a.m. They had, again, a domestic dispute, disturbed all the other guests, and then she left by 6 a.m. And then 7:30, I went down to make sure everything was all right. This woman stole 2 large Costco laundry detergents. She stole a laptop. She stole a very large basket, a Liz Claiborne black and white coat, a whole bunch of shoes and scarves. What else? Oh, some jewelry that I had because I sell cosmetics. She stole that. What else? There was a couple other things that she took. Oh, a brand new set of nesting bowls. Some kitchen spices and kitchenware. Anything else that was really massive? Fridge was full of cooked food. So Elvis Presley's daughter stayed here, and she robbed us. Now there's a police report. It's been filed. She is no longer going to be an Airbnb customer as far as I'm concerned, because we have filed charges and we have reported the incident. And so that is one Airbnb horror story. What is the lesson here? If somebody claims to be Elvis Presley's child, don't let them in. If they are house hunting, well, you got to take your chance. My policy is now, you have a domestic dispute once, you are out the next day. Yes, you are. You are out the next day. And if you are making noise at 2 a.m, I am going down there to check to make sure you're not stealing all of my shit. So that is not the normal case, but unfortunately, this did actually happen. Yes. And she stole probably around $1,000 worth of stuff. To replace it, the replacement cost, it was older and whatever, but the replacement cost was about $1,000. So totally not worth the stay. Would not recommend this guest at all. In fact, I would just recommend that you call the police and ask her to check into some sort of mental health center. So, Airbnb horror stories. Stay tuned for the next episode because there are more!